Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
If that fight ends up being close,
yes,
a lot of people are going to watch that fight, right?
A lot, yes. because I think a lot of people are going to want to see Jake Paul lose, and
100%.
Floyd Mayweather has flatly rejected the notion of Jake Paul entering the ring with Canelo Alvarez, asserting that Jake would be drastically outclassed in every possible aspect of the matchup. According to Mayweather, although Jake has achieved some level of success against fellow influencers and non-professional fighters, stepping in against a world-renowned boxer like Canelo presents an entirely different level of difficulty. He highlighted that Jake has yet to demonstrate his ability against proven boxing professionals and would face overwhelming challenges when matched with someone of Canelo's pedigree, experience, and punching power. Mayweather is adamant that if Jake ever found himself across the ring from a top-tier fighter like Canelo, the result would be fast and overwhelmingly one-sided, with Jake barely surviving the opening rounds.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there are many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's where his mindset's at.
It get fucked up by Canelo. Oh, I'm sorry, it's TMT.
You can curse. You can curse.
I apologize, but
no apologize. No.
There's no way he get demolished. But for what he's doing, as long as they keep getting YouTubers and keep putting them in there with MMA guys.
Canelo Alvarez is universally viewed as one of the sharpest business minds in the boxing world. He doesn't merely accept fights for competition's sake, he meticulously picks bouts that promise huge financial rewards. That's the basis for Jake Paul's belief that Canelo will eventually agree to fight him. Jake consistently promotes himself as the sport's most entertaining figure, insisting that audiences tune into his events, whether they're rooting for him or hoping to see him knocked out. He's convinced that his strong influence on pay-per-view sales is exactly why high-profile names like Canelo will eventually have no option but to accept a fight. Jake argues that a match between the two would be a financial goldmine, pulling in millions for both fighters.
I think it's very, very realistic. And people may think that sounds crazy, but Canelo is a smart businessman, and at the end of the day, he wants to do big fights and make, entertainment, make huge entertainment products. And my skill set is improving every single day, and that's what doing fights like this are about, taking on real professional fighters. So that eventually I could take on tougher fighters, and I see Canelo versus Jake Paul happening in the next 24 months. It just makes so much sense, and also people forget that I'm 200 pounds. I have a size advantage. All of these things that start to add up, which make it such an interesting fight that I fully believe I'll win. There's the KSIs, the Tommy Furies, the Nate Diaz MMA fight, but I don't know if these guys actually want to put it on the line. We've tried to make a Floyd fight happen. Floyd's ducked it. So I don't know if these guys really want to take a risk.
Jeff Mayweather, a well-respected name in the boxing community, has thoroughly rejected the concept of Jake Paul ever stepping into the ring with Canelo Alvarez. He stated that no serious member of the sport would entertain such a matchup, labeling it completely unrealistic. Jeff even quipped that Jake might as well say he wants to fight Muhammad Ali. From Jeff's perspective, Jake is immersed in a fantasy, repeatedly calling out elite-level boxers without first earning credibility through meaningful fights. He's adamant that Canelo wouldn't even consider the matchup, as it holds no serious competitive value.
All right, here with Jeff Mayweather. Jeff, appreciate taking the time. Unfortunately, the Hasim Rahman Jr. Jake Paul fight has been canceled. Jake said something very interesting, though. He said that the big fight out there right now is Canelo, and he said, hey, Canelo can be beat. Bivol gave the blueprint, and I'm just like Bivol. I have the same powers, similar attributes, speed, elusiveness. All he's basically I don't want to say carbon copy, but he's very similar to Bivol, so he would match up favorably with Canelo. Hard to argue. He's undefeated so far, and boxers are ducking him. What do you think?
Well, maybe. Why don't he just fight Bivol then? Canelo's already fight somebody. Fight Triple G.
But Canelo's the money, right?
Not anymore.
He's more money than Bivol.
He's probably more money than Bivol.
Especially if he beats Triple G.
Yeah, he's still probably more money than. But the thing is that nobody's even gonna take that serious. You can say all you want to. You can say you can fight Muhammad Ali. You can say you can fight whoever. Ain't nobody taking that serious.
But why not? Canelo wants money fights. Jake is, it's pretty undeniable. He's the hottest prospect in boxing right now. He's undefeated. He's also one of the biggest draws in boxing. So why would that not be a fight to make? Or do you think that's something Canelo figures that's, it would look bad if he didn't come through positively in that fight?
I think that it's a fight that Jake is just yelling just to make himself look like he's legitimate. But, of course, he has a coach that would never let him fight Canelo.
You wouldn't favor him in that fight against Canelo?
This topic was highlighted during Ariel Helwani's podcast, where it was firmly stressed that a bout between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez simply isn't happening. During the show, experts unanimously pointed out that there's neither a plausible reality nor even a far-fetched scenario in which this fight could logically occur. The enormous gap in experience, technical ability, and professional boxing heritage between them makes the matchup implausible from every possible angle. It's not merely unlikely, it's categorically impossible, with no credible route through which this contest could take form.
YouTube influencer versus pound for pound great being the hang up in the fight, being the one that stops the momentum. Because it's not happening. There is no world.
Okay, then let me ask you
May I be
this.
struck by lightning right now if this is possible?
Wow, a lightning bet.
If this happens,
Right.
if this happens.
There's just no way. There is no way.
Wait. If what happens? If the fight happens, or if the upset of
if
the
Jake
century happens?
If Jake Paul derails Terrence Crawford versus Canelo by
All credit to
beating
him.
Canelo,
then you book
there's
Jake
no
Paul
chance.
versus Terrence Crawford.
Zero.
Okay, let me ask you this. If that fight ends up being close,
yes,
a lot of people are going to watch that fight, right? A lot,
yes. because I think a lot of people are going to want to see Jake Paul lose, and
100%.
Canelo's
Canelo's going to do this.
Be like
Canelo would do this, and we're
let's
just talking.
Let's backtrack to your first question, which is interest. I'm very interested because, as I've long said, I'm on this corner. I only care about Jake Paul in spectacles. It would be an absolute spectacle to see a pound for pound. First, he did Mike Tyson, which, and I'm not going all the way back, but I'm saying in his most recent outing, Mike Tyson, an all-time legend, a pop culture icon, versus Jake Paul, is a spectacle. Now you're going the opposite direction to nearly in his prime. We'll say maybe like he's on the back nine, but he's still close to his prime. He's still a top 5 pound for pound on pretty much anybody's list fighter. Going against Jake Paul, I'm in for the spectacle. I'm in. I don't think Jake Paul has a chance in hell, but I'm in for the spectacle.
And how long has he been beating the drum on this? He's been saying he's going to do this forever.
Listen, let's see what happens.
Credit to him if
Critics argue Jake Paul is indulging in pure delusion if he genuinely thinks he can face off against Canelo Alvarez in the ring. Former world champion Carl Froch also weighed in, warning that if such a fight were to actually materialize, it would quickly turn disastrous. Froch has been a vocal critic of Jake's journey through boxing and firmly maintains that Jake lacks the necessary skills to contend with someone of Canelo's level. He cautioned that Jake would be thoroughly dominated and could seriously be injured. Froch made it clear that Canelo is a relentless warrior who doesn't ease up on opponents. If Jake stepped into the ring with him, Froch claimed it wouldn't just be a loss, it would be a vicious and humiliating exposure of Jake's deficiencies.
He'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself, he's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances. But I'll take the fucking payday, of course I will. And I'll end Jake Paul with one punch. I'd go in there one-armed and beat this guy. He can't box. He's absolutely fucking useless, which we saw last night with Mike Tyson. Talking about Canelo Alvarez. I've not mentioned Canelo Alvarez because it's just laughable. Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, can you imagine? I mean, Jake Paul fancies that and he jumps in the ring with him. I will pay homage to him because fair play, if he jumps in there with Canelo Alvarez, he'll get absolutely fucking destroyed and it will be fast and it will be messy and it will be bad for his health as well, potentially.
Even in the face of widespread doubt from boxing experts, Jake Paul's trainer has hinted that an official announcement about a possible fight between Jake and Canelo Alvarez is coming very soon. That remark has fueled further speculation that the showdown could become reality, even though the majority still see it as a massive mismatch. Some fans suspect Jake is merely stirring up headlines for attention, while others wonder whether there might be some truth behind the buzz. Either way, the trainer's remarks have only intensified the speculation, ensuring that the debate remains firmly in the spotlight.
Paul could be fighting next.
I can't give you the insight. I can't give you the insight. Just know that announcement coming real soon. Real soon.
Let me ask you a question then. Obviously, you're not going to tell me.
Okay.
You keep moving.
All right, my bad.
If Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez is scheduled for May, Jake simply won't have sufficient time to properly prepare. Boxing professionals argue that he would require several months just to adjust to the correct weight class and condition himself for a bout of this magnitude. Considering the limited window, it's highly improbable that Jake could be ready to take on someone of Canelo's stature by that time. Even if the fight were delayed to later in the year, many still believe the skill gap between them is far too great for Jake to bridge, regardless of how much time he has to train.
You said that you'd like to go up against Canelo Alvarez. What gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen 3 more years from now.
So I'm
going to get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of, and with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious run for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business-wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right? Yeah. That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
The majority of boxing analysts concur that if this fight were to happen, it would be finished in a matter of moments. Numerous experts predict that Canelo Alvarez would knock Jake Paul out in the very first round, citing the immense disparity in skill, experience, and overall boxing acumen between the two. While Jake may have achieved victories over social media celebrities and aging mixed martial artists, stepping into the ring with one of the era's greatest boxers is a challenge of an entirely different caliber. The general agreement is that Jake is nowhere near ready for such elite competition, and his lack of experience would be painfully obvious. Should the bout take place, fans are advised not to expect it to go beyond the initial rounds, as Canelo's power, precision, and elite ring intelligence would likely make short work of Jake Paul.
Do you have a call out in mind, or are you kind of just gonna see where it takes?
No, I mean, I do. It's Canelo. This moment will prove that I'm the face of boxing, the largest attraction. Me versus Canelo at 200 pounds for the cruiserweight championship is the biggest fight, arguably even bigger than me versus Tyson, and it makes so much sense. And you know, Canelo's on his way out. He's gonna want a payday, and I want to show the world that all the shit I've been talking about beating Canelo is actually true, and I'll have the biggest upset in the sport of boxing, and we will fight to really see who is the face. After this event, I'm gonna be claiming it. I beat his gate record, so I'm beating the ticket sales, all of that stuff, so I'm gonna be the new money.
Joe Rogan has consistently praised Canelo Alvarez, applauding his tremendous punching strength and exceptional defensive techniques. He has often referred to Canelo as one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet, highlighting his mastery over every aspect of the ring. Rogan has also emphasized Canelo's razor-sharp footwork and reactive counterpunching, noting that these traits make him a nightmare for any opponent, especially someone like Jake Paul, who lacks high-level experience. If a veteran combat sports analyst like Rogan believes that Canelo operates on an entirely different level, it only reinforces the view that Jake Paul has no rightful place sharing a ring with him.
Very fucking dangerous. Very dangerous.
There's always somebody coming right behind you. And these guys who've been at the top so long, you're like, all right, let me get somebody that's on my level. Canelo,
Yeah.
he's been in the game just as long as me, and all right, let's just do this for this paycheck and then move on.
I think when they get to a certain level and they realize they only have a few fights left, they want the big money fights. And Canelo is obviously the biggest money fight. Even though Boots Ennis is a great fighter, most people don't know who he is yet.
Yeah.
And with Canelo, everybody knows who Canelo is. If you get the Canelo fight, that's red panties night. If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy,
Right.
he was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, knock him out with one punch like that, like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.
Even though the vast majority of boxing insiders have dismissed the idea of Jake Paul fighting Canelo Alvarez, the very fact that the conversation is happening has left fans stunned. Jake has spent years making bold proclamations, often claiming that Canelo needs him for a big payday and insisting he is the bigger attraction in boxing. While most observers find these declarations ridiculous, recent rumors of a potential clash have ignited public curiosity and debate. Both fans and commentators are now speculating whether there could be even the faintest possibility of this matchup becoming reality. Regardless of whether it ever unfolds, one thing is undeniable: Jake Paul has, yet again, succeeded in creating headlines and maintaining public attention, something he's consistently excelled at throughout his career.
Champion. And then for your girlfriend Yuta to win Olympic gold.
Yeah, we just have all the belts.
That's insane.
In the world.
That's crazy.
And then we should just retire after that.
So look, are you happy with your performance in the fight? Are you happy with the way the night went down?
I wish he would have, put up a better fight, so then I could have risen more and done more. And he was surviving.
He was.
So
before you went out,
it's worked up. But I think that everybody just wants him to win. Wanted Mike to win. But
dude, people really don't like us, Jake. People really want to see you get knocked out.
Yeah, what did I ever do to anyone?
Well, you climbed on top of the KTLA news van.
Hilarious.
You wasted the government's money.
How?
Because the FBI had to raid your house.
They wasted their own money. They wasted their own money. Why would they do that? I didn't. And then nothing ever came from it. They didn't even know what they were doing.
Jake Paul has never held back when sharing his views on Canelo Alvarez. In earlier interviews, he's gone as far as to claim that Canelo is dodging him out of fear, asserting that he brings more attention to the sport than the Mexican champion. While most experts in boxing see these statements as outrageous, Jake continues to promote the idea that Canelo needs him more than he needs Canelo. Whether Jake genuinely believes what he's saying or is simply engaging in self-promotion, one thing is certain: he's doing everything in his power to keep his name linked with Canelo Alvarez.
You really, really need to stop. I hope you don't think that you're ready for some guy like Canelo Alvarez, though. You ain't that crazy, are you?
I am beyond
Please don't tell me that.
I am beyond ready. In all
Come
fucking
on,
seriousness,
Jay.
I
Come
beat
on,
Canelo
God,
Alvarez.
Stephen A., you're just not happy with anything. First you're getting there with a real opponent, and then you're like, oh, you don't think you're not ready for Canelo, you're not that crazy. Well, make up your mind.
Happy with claim. Hold on, excuse me. What is your name again?
My name is Julia.
Julia.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate your passion. Thank you very much, but I have to say this to you. There is a middle ground. I mean, you can't sit up there and say I'm not happy with anything because I'm saying get in with a real boxer, but in the same breath, I'm like, you ain't ready for a world champion. But I mean, that's not an insult. I'm not insulting you. I'm not saying you'll never be ready for him, but you don't go from fighting UFC fighters to Canelo Alvarez.
But I'm beating world champions in sparring.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying. And so, but this is what they say fight a real boxer, and then I'm like, all right, give me Canelo, and then they're like, you're crazy, shut the up. So it's kind of like, what do I do?
You fight someone lower
than
Canelo. Canelo's crazy.
But the thing is Canelo is old. Canelo is looking like he could barely beat Triple G, who's
Sports broadcasters and commentators have offered their take on the potential bout between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez, and their reactions have been overwhelmingly dismissive. Many have outright laughed at the concept, calling it a publicity stunt rather than a serious boxing contest. Analysts emphasize that the gulf in talent between these two fighters is so immense that any such fight would be devoid of competitiveness. To them, merely suggesting that Jake could face someone of Canelo's caliber borders on absurdity, underlining just how far-fetched the entire idea really is.
Paul, let's have it right, guys. You know, I mean, you're talking about Jake Paul calling out granddads in Mike Tyson, and that fight, you know, you look at that where Mike Tyson could barely walk up the steps at the time, and it became evident when we was out there.
You were bloody championing it.
Yeah, that's before I got out there, Simon, and saw the state of Mike Tyson. If I'm totally honest, he weren't in the greatest of health, and he done his job, and we saw. Yeah. You know, Jake.
But it is a fair argument, Spence. I know that what you're saying it has validity to it as well. But if you put Jake Paul in a ring with a bona fide all-time great, you're discrediting the sport. You're making it about something that's not competitive. This is just money. It's taking the mickey out of the fans, and it's giving Jake Paul some validity by association. That's what it's doing, and that's why people will say, "Come on now, that's taking boxing in the wrong direction."
So I mean, you're right. It puts boxing into disrepute in many ways, if I'm totally honest, because, like you say, it's sort of disrespecting the sport. Jake Paul and what he's doing, and all this stuff with UFC fighters and ex-champions that are 60+. Great, there's a home for that. You know, Jake Paul's fans will like that. That's a different, you know, that's a different era we're talking about, a different fan base that we're talking about. Canelo going in with Jake Paul. Where does Jake Paul earn the right to box Canelo?
Oh, exactly.
Let's have it right here.
Yeah.
We're talking about a modern day great, and we're talking about a current world champion. How does Jake Paul fit into that top 10 when you're talking about Adam Azim, who's like, you know, a legitimate great world-class fighter who's not even in WBC top 10?
They argue that this fight is entirely unnecessary and contributes nothing meaningful to the sport of boxing. From their perspective, it's not about skill, legacy, or authentic competition, it's purely a spectacle fueled by hype and showmanship. Many believe that bouts like this distract from real boxing matchups and only serve to generate media noise instead of producing significant sporting moments. In their view, a Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez contest would resemble a staged spectacle more than a genuine contest of boxing skill.
3 years ago, when I was calling out Nate Diaz and all of these big names, Anderson Silva, all of these people, and they said, you don't have the right to call them out. And then I manifested it, got the skill in the gym, got to their level and above, and then beat them. It's literally just, I'm repeating the playbook now. I'm predicting what's going to happen 3 more years from now. So I'm going to get to his skill level and beat him. And I have a weight advantage, a size advantage, a height advantage, a reach advantage. And he's super skilled. I just went 10 rounds. Me and Canelo can go 10 rounds. Like, come on.
You face off with Canelo today. What happens?
I would lose. But in 2 years, I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world. And I know what I'm capable of. And with this new team, the experience I'm getting in the ring under the lights, I believe in 2 years, I can give Canelo a serious fucking run for his money.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to TKO Edge for more knockout content. From fight breakdowns to real-time reactions, we've got it all right here. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strong, and keep your guard up.